Hello, greetings to people that are watching. And a special shout out to my friend Terry because I know she's watching.
Oh, good.
And I was going to try to put on my fun glam glasses, but I closed the case and it's really hard for my hands to open it. So I get to put them on. Oh my God, BJ. I have a story for you today.
Okay, good.
So I'm on this app and it's all over the United States, but mostly I just look at stuff here in Santa Fe, and it's called Nextdoor, and it's kind of a little thing about neighbors. It's kind of like Facebook, but it runs by groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, oh my God, do you know how people just sometimes they just bitch and moan? And everything's just bitchy and moany, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, someone stole something out of someone's yard.
Uh-oh.
And I understand. And they were devastated and they were sad and blah, blah, blah. And it just so happened that it was a statue of St. Francis.
Okay.
So when I saw it, and I mean, I don't, most of the time I don't click on it, but once in a while I will. When I saw it, there were 25 comments, and boy, those people, and everyone's gonna get them, and they're all like crabbing and whatever, right?
Right.
So I go on and I go, maybe they'll hear the message of St. Francis speaking to them
Mm-hmm.
because they need
Hmm.
it. Maybe they took the statue because they need the energy of St. Francis in their life, right?
Right.
I cannot tell you the number of people, because then you can react and there's like, thumbs up and all that stuff. But the
Right.
number of hearts on that post, it was like, you know what? Let's try to flip people's perspective a little bit. Yeah, it's horrible. I'm really sorry that happened to you. And just maybe it will help the people that actually took it. I don't know.
Wow.
You like it?
Yeah,
So, anyway,
that was good.
I had
Hmm.
therapy today for my PTSD from working at FEMA.
Uh-huh.
And my therapist, sometimes I should just ask him, like, what do you, when you finish with session with me, what do you think? Like, do you have to like walk away and go, that lady's insane, or what? Because I'm telling him about my Soul Path Mystery School,
Mm-hmm.
and I wonder what he thinks.
What did he say?
He didn't say anything. I mean, he kind of goes along with everything,
Yep, that's how they do it.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they do it. That's how they do it. Let's see if they
Well, they really can't give you much. They can't get all stuck in your business. They're just there to hear you so you can work through your own stuff.
I don't need that. I got you. You know what I mean? I don't need them to, I mean, I don't think I do. I don't know. Do I? Is that how you process PTSD? My friend Natana is like, no, no, no. Tell him EMDR, 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 because it's a different method. and you don't really have to go. And so today I told him, I said, hey, listen, I looked up someone else that I've worked with before that does a different type of trauma release. It's called gentle trauma release therapy, I believe, maybe. And I did it before because I was really, really working on grief.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. It was so good, and it was fast, and it was easy. And when I remembered it, I was like, oh my God, I have to go back to Isabella is her name. She's in, like, not, I was going to say Serbia, but that's not right. Croatia? No, somewhere in the Eastern European country. That's where she's from. I don't know where she actually lives, but she might live over there somewhere. Anyway, so I worked with her, and it was fabulous, and it worked really well. And all of a sudden, I was talking to someone, and I remembered, and I'm going to have a just like a discovery call, they call it, just talk with someone.
Mm-hmm.
One of the people that she's trained, because I was doing this with her before she actually developed, or while she was developing the method.
Okay.
Perfecting it and getting recordings of people to try to put them on her website. And if you go to her website, you can see me there talking about it.
Yeah, cool.
So one of her top trainers and I are going to have a short call tomorrow to see. But I'm like, come on, mister. I've been dealing with you for like 2 months now, and I don't feel any better than I did before. So he really started in today. When I said that, then he started in, okay, this is how it works, and this is what we're going to do, and this is, hold these things, because he doesn't do, I guess there's different ways of doing EMDR. EMDR is with the eyes, but this guy makes you hold these things that vibrate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what it is. Can it just please work?
And does he use essential oils?
No. Why?
Well, I think that's what Catherine, Sierra's roommate, the old woman, she's 78. I think she uses the two things, and they're metal, and you hold them in your hand, and then you talk, or I don't know what it is, but I think
that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
EMDR. It's from Europe. Was developed in Europe.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I haven't done a whole lot of background study on it, but so anyway, so that's one adventure, right? Oh, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it ends up, because I don't think EMDR is covered by insurance, and I'm wondering how much it costs.
I don't know. I could ask her what, but you would have to come there to her facility, which is here on the mountain. That won't work.
That just might not work.
No.
I see some people.
But if this guy is doing the same thing, then I know what she said, that a lot of people get a lot of good help from it. So maybe give it a chance.
Maybe give it a chance, but it's, it's been weeks. It's been weeks and weeks. And what the hell? Here I am. And I just I submitted the day after Christmas. I submitted the paperwork that I had to submit.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, of course, neither of us knew this before, and he didn't work that week, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, neither of us knew, and I had to submit that paperwork, and it was just, I had to go back over everything and tell the whole big story, write it all out, submit the 13 frickin' pages of examples of bullshit, excuse my French. Especially Facebook don't kick me off for expressing myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it just triggered me right on all over again. And he said, okay, what does it feel like? And I'm like, it feels like, ugh. I mean, I was growling and telling him,
Mm-hmm.
just shaking and just, I mean, my heart's just pounding away like more than usual. Usually it pounds and it's there and it's nice and it's fabulous, right? No, this is like crap. Horrible. So anyway, so one or the other or something. Let's go. Like giddy up. I want to get it going, get it done. Gone. Right?
So what are you trying to get rid of?
The whole, all the just trauma from working at FEMA.
Oh.
I went to work there with the desire to help the people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember sitting at the kitchen, at the dining room table, looking out the window at the mountains, watching the wind, knowing the scheduled burns were coming, and thinking they can't be this stupid. I mean, you know what it's like when the winds come up here. It's crazy. It's really, really strong winds. And I'm like, they can't do a burn with these winds.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. So what is this about? This is to me about the masculine. It's on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And the feminine, the earth is speaking.
Mm-hmm.
32 families filed a lawsuit against FEMA for not getting their money within the scheduled time after their complaint was received and recognized. They're supposed to pay them within 90 days and they didn't get their money.
Mm-hmm.
32 laws. This is going to go on for decades. I'm going to say decades. I do not think that any magic wand is going to come. Ding, 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 ding. Look, my magic wand.
Mm-hmm.
And fix this problem. Just makes me so sad. It makes me so sad.
Mm-hmm.
For
who?
For the people, for the land, for the water, for the acequias, for the
Mm-hmm.
all those teams of people that have cared for all of that for centuries. It feels like wisdom got burnt.
Mm-hmm.
The wisdom.
So FEMA burns things? I thought FEMA was there only for disasters.
No, the U.S. Forest Service burned it.
Mm. And so FEMA was involved because people got hurt?
Well, because there were 350,000 acres burned.
Okay.
Houses that have been, the old adobes that have been in families in their families for centuries.
Mm-hmm. And so FEMA went in to take care of the people and all that stuff?
That's what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be supporting the state. But the state doesn't have the capacity. Oh, Yeah.
So why are you suing them?
Hmm?
Why are you suing FEMA?
No, I put in a complaint because my supervisor was so absolutely atrocious. Atrocious. Bad.
This was okay. This was the one where you had that lady you were working with, or not,
Yeah,
and
right?
then they transferred her to another place.
Yeah, well, they always do.
And then what happened with your job? It was over, or
Well,
contract?
that's what happens. They contract you for 120 days.
Oh, okay.
And we were supposed to do a series of workshops for the people that are working with the affected victims. And they wanted 5 workshops. They named them. We set them up. We brought the CDC in to teach 2 of them. And there were other federal people that went and taught a bunch of other workshops. And I mean, that's what they wanted. It was clear that this is what was part of what I was supposed to be doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
BJ, I did it in less than 120 days. Done, okay? That's
Mhm.
all. The state didn't have anything else that they could imagine could be done to help these people. I was working with health and it's HSD, Human Services Division Department.
Mhm.
Human Services Department. They always put the D at the end here in Mexico. So I did it. And then they're like, okay, you did it. Good job. Guess you don't have to get renewed because you did all the stuff we wanted. And now my friends that are still there,
Mhm.
you are the lucky one because you got to leave.
Mhm.
It's just that my friends say, oh my God, I've never had a job like this in my life.
So you're filing a charge against that lady for discrimination. Is that what it is?
She would have team meetings with everyone there except me.
Hmm.
And then someone would say, where's Gina Maria? Oh, I'll send her an invite because you can't go to a meeting unless you get the invite. You can't just show up like, oh, I know there's a meeting and I didn't get invited. So then I get the invite and then I have to drop whatever I was doing and go to the meeting.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I mean, pages and pages and pages of BS. It was insane. And I added a couple of paragraphs in there. I've managed teams. I've led teams. I know what it is. I know how to build teams.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to take people's strengths and assign them things to do that focus on their strengths. First, you go on strength based. Then you find weaknesses and you help them develop and mejorar, make their weaknesses better. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But to not include people and to not talk to people and to just be a that's not how it works. That's not how teams works.
Mm-hmm.
This exclusion and division and that's just crap. Anyway. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I did it and we'll figure it out. And it'll all I'm really good at knowing stuff for other people. Not always so good on my own stuff. It's hard to read for yourself. And plus, it's the government. You know, I can hear my kids saying, "It's the government."
Mm-hmm.
Mom, it's the government. Like, oh. So, you know, it'll probably take 3 times as long as it usually would take. Which is long.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff does not move quickly.
Now, when was this? This was just your last job, right? And then didn't you have another lawsuit going on for another job way back when?
That one's still going.
Mm-hmm.
Slow.
So what are you fighting for? Yourself or for the people? Wait, yourself or for the people that are not being hired to work because of their disabilities or what?
It's to teach the systems how it's really supposed to work.
Mm-hmm. For who?
For the people with disabilities. I mean,
Okay.
mostly, I will say, the people with disabilities.
Okay.
You know, it's the Americans with Disabilities Act was signed over 30 years ago. And we still have the federal government that's supposed to be the flagship showing the rest of the world how it really is supposed to work, not knowing and just being crappy about it. That's not how it's supposed to work at all.
So do they have a standard in someplace in FEMA or somewhere that they're supposed to be following? And do you have a copy of that standard, or can you get
the law? It's the law.
Well, do you have a copy
It's
of the law?
federal law. Yeah,
I know.
there's books on it.
Or do they have it in the statutes or wherever so you could also look at that, see if they're following it? Or
Well,
have
I
you done that?
not. So, I mean, I knew they weren't, and I know they're not. So, yeah, I mean, I have my ADA coordinator certification. I know what Title II employment is supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to up the standards. I mean, that's the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
That's the minimum. We could go beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Make it even more inclusive and even better and more welcoming and more. But to leave people out, that's not right. It's not right anywhere, is it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Was that in your job? Did they give you a job description?
Yeah, but it's really vague. I mean, then once you're in there, then they give you a little bit better idea, but
Mm-hmm. But did you have a job description?
nah. So my training, if you will, I was, quote, trained by one of the FEMA Corps people.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where they go. First, they're volunteers for like a year.
Uh-huh.
They pay them like, I don't know, like $60 a week or something like that. And they pay for their housing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's their basic needs are not even covered with their salary, you know, like food. And then after they volunteer after their Corps for a while, then they can go to FEMA Corps. And now she's working somewhere in DC.
Mm.
She took another job with FEMA in DC. But I mean, and so she was just telling me, you know, like, oh, this is this and this is this. But she just told me what she knew, and not, I mean, things would change every day, every week.
Okay.
1 week, the plan was like this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. And then the next week, it would be, oh, scrap that. We're going to do something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And it changed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then one manager, the bigger manager would have one vision, and then your supervisor would have another vision. One guy would say, okay, the 4 of you get together and I want you to talk and come up with a plan that's going to cover A, B, and C. And we'd be sitting there talking about it and figuring out, and oh, who should we talk to, and what do we need to do, and what do we need to learn, and all this stuff. And then our supervisor would come by and start yelling at us for talking instead of working. But
so why did you stay there? Why did you stay if it was that uncomfortable?
if you leave, then you can't get disability. If you quit, unemployment.
So,
And
so was it worth
see
it to get the unemployment, to be in that situation? I mean, was that your priority?
survival. You go into survival mode. I tell you, it was bad.
So what about having other jobs? I mean, you've been working all over the place. You couldn't get a different job and get out of there and just move on?
When we start talking about that,
Mm-hmm.
things here are very, very different.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see jobs and jobs and jobs and jobs, and there's a ton of them, like working for the state and working for the county, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I have the experience, but I don't have a degree in psychology, criminal justice, family studies, social work. Like there's like 6 or 8 standard degrees, and that's not what my degree is in. And pretty much they won't look at it.
Mm-hmm. So my question is, do they have what classes can you take online? Because you'd have to do it online.
Yeah, but it would take 2 years.
Okay. So will Social Security and Disability support you while you're going to the classes? Have you checked that out? Because I know they do that.
No,
they won't do that for you.
No, because I have too much education in their eyes.
But you're going for a certification to become this person. Why wouldn't they let you do that? To get a BA or a BS or...
I already have a BA and master's.
Okay. In what?
Political science and Spanish. I have 2 BAs.
Okay.
And the master's in divinity.
Okay. I'm just curious why you wouldn't.
I know. I know you are.
To get the training that you need to work it for the government.
Yeah, it would be nice, but I don't know. There should be other jobs. And then people always say, oh, go apply at the labs. They'll take you in a minute.
At the where?
At Los Alamos, at the labs where you used to work. I don't want to do that.
Why not?
Because you're working to help the machinery that destroys, right?
Not all areas.
What?
Not in all areas.
Most of them. I mean, what are they doing up there? Building bombs and doing nuclear whatever. I mean, I don't think they're using nuclear energy for. Maybe they're doing it for good things, but that's not their past track record, is it?
So, what else could you do that would make you happy? I mean, because you're this.
I am developing and starting and talking about it, and mark your calendars for December 11th. I believe it's a Thursday. Hang on one second. I'm going to check and see. And I'm making this up on the fly as we go. It is January 11th. I am going to do a webinar, and I am going to lay out the entire Soul Path Mystery School. All right, so I just am looking for people interested in signing up for the beta group. There will be 8 of us total. So, sorry to put me first, but I'm one. Anyone that books a reading with me between now and January 29th will be entered into a drawing and will be able to attend the Soul Path Mystery School, the first of 3 cycles. Okay, I'm calling them cycles. 3 parts, 3 cycles. This is a cycle. It's circular, it's feminine, it's woman. That does not mean men are excluded. If you want to sign up, I'd be glad to have you. Okay? One of those people will get in free. And so there are 6 seats available. And sign up will begin on January 29th, which is, God, I can't even see it here. Oh, it's a Monday, I think. Yep. And the first week of class is the week of February 11th. So there's like a little less than 2 weeks of sign up, and then the first class will start.
So you're saying from January 11th to January 29th is when you can sign up?
From January 29th until February, I'm going to say February 10th, because it starts on the 11th. You have to sign up before you go to class, right?
Okay, so January 11th is what? What's that?
That's when I'm going to tell the content, talk about what's in it, how it's structured, etc.
Okay, so you're going to do that on this site here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's how you're going to let people understand what your classes or the school is going to be about. Okay.
Right. And what the different cycles are, and the content and the focus, and what we're doing. We're doing our work, people. If you want to get on your soul's path, if you want to learn and understand, if you're feeling lost, unfulfilled, yet don't know where you're going, you need to find and listen to what you came to earth, what you signed up for, right? We all sign up for stuff. Boy, I used to say, people would say, you have a soul contract. And I'm like, I don't remember signing that one. I don't know if I signed that one. Can you show me my signature? Right?
So
So that would be my dream.
Mhm.
I want to do the beta 10 weeks each cycle. We get a breather in between, an integration period. And the next beginning beta cycle does not start till sometime. Well, not beta. The next first cycle will not be till I have it all written down. Sometime in late fall. I don't know if it's like mid-September, late September, somewhere around there. So
Now,
yeah.
this site here that you got going with us, you bringing this in, does this tie into that training or to that school?
This site, this is a platform.
This is I didn't know it. Okay, it's a
Yeah.
platform. Does this one tie into that?
No.
Okay.
I mean, what I'll do is have people I can use the platform for the school, but this right now I have it connected and there's a few people on I see
Oh, good.
that are watching from either I have 2 Facebook pages or my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
But when I have students on, I will not be broadcasting it. That's, it's a very sacred space that will be very safe and very guarded. And
Okay. So, with this, what we're doing here, how many people have access to this?
as many people as. So it goes to social media.
Okay.
So whoever happens upon it from social media, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're teaching people you're going to have this class on how to walk down and make things live a comfortable life, all like that, or how to.
It's very, very deep
Mm-hmm.
internal work.
Deep internal work. Okay, so
And
you've been talking about this thing, the working with FEMA and all that. Is that part of how you're going to run your class or run this time with these people that sign up? Is that what you're going to talk about? Things like that for them to go to the deep part of the work, or how they're feeling deeply, or what?
yeah, I'm going to lay it all out
Mm-hmm.
on the 11th.
Okay, so we've been talking about FEMA and all the stuff that happened to you. What are you sharing that will be positive for other people to hear from all of this? What are you gaining from sharing this with our little circle that we got so far? What is it doing for you? And is that what you're going to help other people do in your class, or is it
It's
totally different?
really, BJ, about looking at what happened and trying to process it.
Okay.
I mean, and again, we look at the labs or we look at whatever. There's times in our lives where we look at what's happening and we are so conflicted, because there were days when I was like, I do not want to be doing this. I do not want to do this. I do not want to be doing this. I do not want to continue doing this. I do not enjoy this. And maybe that's the lesson. I need to be doing something that I truly believe in, something that nurtures my soul.
Mm-hmm.
So those people that called me today about working either in Tucson or in Colorado, that work doing that case management or being the manager of the case managers is something that really has a direct effect on people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And my dear friend Lorena, who is one of my case managers, that I adore her. She adores me. And she's the one that I said, if I go to Molly's workshop in North Carolina, Lorena will drive 6 hours to see me. Throw her arms around me and the two of us will sob.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's just that connection with people.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I mean, there are good people at FEMA. And that's what you try to keep your focus on. The people that actually are there not for their egos, not for their egos, but to actually try to help in a very, very crappy situation, right?
Mm-hmm. Isn't FEMA just designed to clean up disasters?
Well, that's what it's supposed to do. Yeah, not make them.
Mm-hmm. So, what you were working on over there, what disaster were you guys working on?
The Calf Canyon Hermit's Peak burn scars.
Okay.
The
What?
350,000 acres.
Oh, that okay.
I mean, that's the acres.
Okay. So you were talking. So you were there working on the FEMA to do the for the fire that the state had, the forest rangers had put together. Oh, looks like I lost you. Uh-oh.
Okay, there we are. I was like, oh my God, did you see we froze?
Mm-hmm. So so you were working at FEMA for the forest fire there in Santa Fe? Is that where it was?
It's on the other side of the mountain. Yeah,
Okay,
over
so
by
you were
Las
working,
Vegas on the other side.
okay, so you were all there working on sending people to help clean up that mess and clear that whole disaster area and all that. Is that what it was about?
Well, I mean, they barely even. The first thing you have to do in a disaster like that is stabilize the soil.
Oh, okay, so they were there for
Over a year after the disaster, the fires were done.
Mm-hmm.
Over a year later, I asked one of the managers, is the soil stabilized? That's the first thing you need to do, is stabilize the soil.
Right.
No. I'm like, why not? We're not that far yet. That's the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still not stabilized.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be 2 years in April. So I don't know, BJ. You know, they're there to follow what the state wants to do. And the state, I don't know if the state knows what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a soil expert, but I have a connection, a woman that I've watched develop stuff for over 10 years. She's in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
She's the CEO of this huge, gigantic company that has people that goes and helps in situations like this. And I put the manager at FEMA, I gave him her name and her number and said, hey, You need people? Guess what? She's got them.
Mm.
And he still hasn't called her. And that was in, I don't know if it was in July or August that I told him.
Yeah. So with your with your school that you're going to set up with your YouTube and the stuff you're going to do,
No,
don't you?
the school's not on YouTube.
Okay. So what you're setting up is really to help people understand and approach problems from a different solution rather than the government solutions.
It's much more soul and heart oriented.
Okay. So then you don't need to
It's
work for FEMA.
listening to it's almost exactly the opposite of the U.S. Forest Service and FEMA and the government. It's listening to the earth,
Okay.
listening to our bodies. You know, people are always like, oh, it's so great to get out in nature. I'm like, you are nature. Sorry. Whoops, little brat. It's like, yeah, guess what we're made out of? Carbon and hydrogen and nitrogen and the same elements of the earth. We are the earth. We are nature. You don't have to go out in nature. You have to get in your body. That's one of the things. That's one of the things in the school, the Soul Path Mystery School.
There you go.
I'm really excited about it because I've learned so much over the years. And you know, I mean, I've studied here and there with this person, that person, and all over. And how many years has it been since I met you, BJ? It's been practically 25 years.
Yeah. Yep.
It was in 99, I bet. And we're in 2004.
Yep. We're in 2024.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Whoops. Whatever year it is. That's a long time ago. 25 years it's been.
Well, I worked at a lot of places around here, and I went ahead and got the training to do substance abuse counseling and peer support counseling and just being a peer support and really working with the system of how they treat alcoholics and drug addicts and mental illness and just all those things. And I wound up getting free training for 4 years from Duke University. All of us did, a whole bunch of us did.
I didn't know you went to Duke.
Yep. So
My youngest child took their first college class from Duke University at 11.
So we got all that training to work with all those people, but the bottom line is on anything that I learned and walked away with, only the person can change the way they do things. You don't have to work with FEMA. You don't have to work for the government. You did, so now you know what's there. So then that gives you the opportunity for people to find the courage to just walk out and leave it. If nobody works for them, then the system gets broken down. Rather than trying to keep getting the
down with a bunch of 75,000 people working for them. That's the problem. It's just a broken system.
So the people like you and other people we have free enterprise here in the United States. We can form our own buildings. I mean, they have all kinds of clinics for everybody. in the area, you can get your certification, your degrees, and then you can open up your own clinic and run things. They can do the same thing with different places where around here they go and they help other people. There's other companies that do that when there's a disaster and stuff. So, I mean, the idea with what you're doing with your school and setting that up on YouTube, this Soul Search Pathways Mystery School,
A Soul Path Mystery
Soul
School.
Path. Anyway, what you're doing there is getting them to learn about the courage to stand up and form the things that can work and bring in the people to do that rather than try and fight the system. The system's just going to run you around the toilet and just keep using the same toilet paper over and over again. So why bother with them? I mean, now you know how they work, so now you can be a part of the change because we can't fix what we don't understand.
Not all of the stuff that they do is equally as useless, in my opinion, as what I did here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There are things and there are parts and there are sections and there are good people. I just had a really horrible experience.
Good. So what are you going to do with that?
I am going to try to show them that they need to at least adhere to the basic statutes that are in the law.
Mm-hmm.
It's about fighting for justice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not easy, and it requires a lot of energy and a lot of, I don't know, maybe it won't be that bad because sometimes it takes a lot of work and sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on the situation, and I don't know what this one's going to be like. We'll see. But I'd much rather be working in a place and for a system that is actually going to help people.
Mm-hmm.
So the positions that they called me about today that we've been talking for a couple of weeks now, would be to help get services to the minors that have been reunited with their family members here in the United States. And I mean, it's been in the news, it's been everywhere. I don't know why there's such an influx now. I was talking to my friend Terry yesterday and talking about why, because usually they come in waves, and the waves usually come in spring and in fall. And we're in the middle of winter. Doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why there are waves now. I found this. You're gonna look.
Oh, good. You found your sage stick.
It's cedar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well,
I was worried about, it's kind of like, 350,000 acres burned down. I have a real, I don't want to light it.
But then no.
Well, I could try, but I'm worried that, it's going to go.
Nah, I wouldn't.
No?
Cedar's good to just lay out and hold the energy. Put it on your altar behind you.
I have it right here with a whole bunch of my favorite stones.
There you go.
You said that this morning. You said, on my phone. Hang on.
Rachel at 6:55 p.m.
It's telling me what day and time, whatever. You said put it on your altar, and I was like, oh my God. I looked around. I have stuff on my dining room table, and I have the tortilla warmer with the dirt in it from Chimayo.
Mm-hmm.
It's in European Spanish they would say Chimayo, but here they say Chimayo. I have sage and stones and feathers and a little tiny bit of water
Mm-hmm.
on my desk. I have candles and feathers and stones on my dresser. It's like, wait a minute, my life is an altar, BJ.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you end up with this constant sacred space. And then my phone rings. Well, that wasn't it, but I have a friend of mine, chants and follows the Hindu traditions and is a yoga teacher, and he chants and he has a band and they're amazing. And I took a clip of one of his songs and it's my ringtone.
Oh,
So
cool.
I was in Colorado this summer and he was up there and I went up just to hang out and see Ryan, and then my phone rang and he was just like what? I just went busted. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe that. I'm like, well, I had to have a tone, so I figured your tones are as good as any, better than any. He just started laughing. So yeah. Life is an altar. There's altars. There's things that are sacred and with us and carrying energy. And
Mm-hmm.
so one of the women that I studied with, she was a student or she is still, we are still students in our psychic development class.
Mm-hmm.
She takes you on this journey and does this absolutely beautiful meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Liliana, I'm going to put your link, the link to your website in the show notes. And she took me on this, what do you want to create in 2024? So, and she makes a vision board out of it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's digital. And so then she sent it to me and I have it on my computer.
Oh, good.
And then she said, find something that you can pick up or touch or whatever to ground in the energy of this beautiful vision that you just created. So the first thing that occurs to you, I always go with it, was my opal rose stone. It's kind of like a rose.
Yeah.
So I have that. And then I was doing a different meditation the other day, a spirit guide meditation, and my spirit guides told me to get another. I mean, it was very guided and flowing and directed to grab another stone. And they didn't say stone, they said something. And I got this piece of rhodochrosite. Let's see if I can hold it up to the camera.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
It is 9 o'clock.
Wow, already.
Yeah.
So I picked up, I'm going to finish my story. I picked up the rhodochrosite, and after the meditation was done, I went and Googled what stone works well with opal, and one of the stones listed was rhodochrosite.
There you go.
There
Oh.
you go. It's coming in, right?
There you go. All right, my love. I love you.
I love you.
Sweet dreams.
I gotta go have dinner yet.
Oh, you better go eat. I'm gonna go to bed. It's 9 o'clock here.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I love it.
I will see you next week, if not before, honey.
That's right. Love you, darling.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.